Can you guys hear me now? Let me just fix this. Let me know if you hear me. And as usual, if you don't, please contact your nearest ear, nose, and throat doctor. Now, let's start again. It was on mute. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. We have whopping 5 people here. Alexander is here, says hello. Rob is here, says hello. Hi. And I'm here. Anchor is here, says hello, sir. 18 male from India. Thank you for that. Rob, what about you? Remind me. Age. Where are you tuning in from? Rob says, Dr. Maron. I'm not a doctor. I gotta correct everyone. Thank you for the honorary doctor title, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I have done extensive research on the topics of OCD and inner psyche movement and so on, but I am not a doctor, for the record. If you have any specific issues, you need to discuss it with your psychologist, psychotherapist, doctors. I'm just sharing with you what I know, what my research has shown. But thank you for that. So sorry for jumping straight to this so quickly. But are people born gay and bisexual, or they learn it? Well, we're all talented to learn all kinds of behavioral traits, or get conditioned when something seems to be so ordinary and part of the everyday life in a society where it's focused on that. Well, people who are not gay or not bi may find inclination because it's something everybody does. It's like conditioning, and it's not it's something to try. But the ones who are born heterosexual simply don't find it interesting, while the brain being separate from you, and its job is to make thoughts based on what's out there in the daily life and what propaganda or what subjects and topics are constantly enforced and talked about and discussed and promoted. So the brain becomes a hub, an apparatus that is focused and conditioned to produce or include the inclinations of different sorts into its thought-producing mechanism. And then, because we have not understood the clear separation between the brain and us, the ones who are not informed, when the brain makes certain suggestions based on its conditioning that is received from all the promotional and unnecessary discussions overly focused on certain topics, then the person thinks that this suggestion coming from the brain is representing his inclination, and then may or may not act on it. But the heterosexual people, they will research and find out, while the topic is discussed a lot, why is it not of interest to me? And that's because they don't have the inclination. Therefore, for them, becomes necessary to find out then why is the brain making these suggestions, which they will then deal with it to bring the brain to its default setting, and they go on from there. And Anchor says, hello, sir. I'm in college right now, and it is really difficult to study with all HOCD intrusive thoughts. Yeah, I know. It's not just because it's HOCD intrusive thoughts. It's because the brain is in the glitch of OCD, and it could be thinking about horse's shit, or could be thinking about some topics irrelevant to any sexuality. But it could be thinking about unpleasant thoughts that's got nothing to do with gender and sexuality, but it is intrusive of a different nature. So it's not that because it's HOCD, it's difficult for you to focus on what you want to focus. It's because you're in the glitch of OCD, and this OCD could be any OCD substance. It happened to be HOCD. If it was harm OCD, if it was responsibility OCD, you'd be constantly thinking about, did I leave the oven on? Maybe I should go check it. What if I actually did? What if it's on and it's going to catch fire? I'm responsible for all the things, and the building's going to fall apart and it's going to burn, and I'm going to harm other people. All that could be intrusive thoughts of any kind. So it's not about that, oh, it's HOCD, I can't study. It's the glitch of OCD that makes you constantly focus on so many distractions and thoughts that are not invited by you or not sanctioned by you. It's not interesting to you. It's intrusive to you. Could be all kinds of scenarios. Fight with your father. Imagine you fight with your mother. I don't know, all kinds of things. So you got to focus on the fact that you're in a glitch of OCD, not because it's HOCD, I'm devastated. No, it's because it's constantly interrupting your focus on what it is that you have set out to accomplish. So focus on that rather than labeling it that way, and then use the 4 steps of Dr. Schwartz that I explained, and then move on. It's not, you see, look, OCD brain is going to do what it does, but you are bothered because you can't stop it. I'm saying, don't worry about stopping it. Just focus on what you need to do despite of it all. You know, it's like, imagine you're in a ship in an ocean, and it's got stormy weather, and you have to finish an assignment. So you're sitting in your room or in the cafeteria of the ship, and you're trying to draw a certain design or complete your essay on certain question or certain project that you're supposed to be expressing your ideas on, and to hand it in next day. So you're sitting there and trying, and this ship goes up and down, up and down. It constantly distracts your movement of your writing or drawing. But nevertheless, that's the condition. You can't be waiting until the ocean stops moving, so the ship stops moving, and then you can draw. You gotta manage. You can't be focusing on why is the ship moving, why there are waves, why there is wind out there. Don't be upset that you can't control. Don't worry about controlling the elements. Focus on about, despite of the elements, how can I now make this line to go straight as I want it to go with my drawing, or to be able to write it in a legible way and to finish my project. So focus on that. The more you focus on your life and your task, the less distraction becomes the distraction. It's there, but you're focused on seeing, because you're focusing on what you want to accomplish, naturally the distraction and intrusive thoughts, distraction by the intrusive thoughts becomes less, because things only exist when you notice them or pay attention to them or extend energy or debate with them or interact with them. The saying that I said many, many years ago, life is an illusion. The illusion you focus on becomes reality. If you think it through, it also hits OCD. It's an illusion what OCD does to all of you. Harm OCD is responsibility OCD, HOCD, inclination OCD, pure all of these OCDs, they are illusions. None of them are real. The brain, which you've been brainwashed to think that the brain is you, may suggest to you that it is the fact, but in fact, it's an illusion. The brain that lives in a virtual world is trying to convince you that what it has conjured up is actually actual world. Itself, its whole entity lives in a virtual world. Nothing that it suggests is actual. Yet it's trying to convince you that the HOCD or some subset of OCD is reality. So it's an illusion. But when you focus on it, then you may think falsely that this is the reality. And then you don't know what to do with it. But once you focus that this is an illusion to begin with, this is not an actuality because thought comes from brain. Brain itself lives in virtuality. It cannot produce anything in actuality. It is you and only you, your awareness and your physical entity can turn any of these suggestions and bring it, allow it to become an actuality in the actual world. When you know the power is you, then you'll relax. And when you don't give it that focus and you give focus to what you want to accomplish during the day, like you're writing or drawing, then the illusion of something that is not true, presenting itself as true, will start dissipating. And your focus will be more on what you want to accomplish. And these intrusive thoughts will be getting less of a light, so they become kind of dissipated in the shadow. And eventually, the more you focus on your life, the less they become apparent. The more you focus on your life, they actually dissipate. Why? Because the brain gets rewired that it's not going to exchange any energy with this. It's not going to pay attention to it. And that's how you rewire the brain, just as Dr. Schwartz has explained in his 4 steps. That's exactly how it works. So, let us pray. Let us pray. Let's go to Rob is from Serbia. Rob, why you trickle down information? Okay, how old? And says, I'm just terrified. It's like I'm okay with the idea of being bisexual. It scares me. It's like I'm okay with the idea. Look, I just explained. You know, uh, when you understand the separation between brain and you, then you know it, it's all about you, not the brain, what the brain says. So relax on that. Rob says, Marin, I used to have a crazy porn addiction. I used to watch categories that I would never see myself watching. That kind of triggered my HOCD. Because the more of a certain scenarios you feed the brain has got its own mechanism It picks up whatever you get it exposed to and makes thoughts with it. So if it's constantly porn, well, it's going to give thoughts about whatever is involved in porn. Sex with whatever is there, because this whole concept of sex in the porn can have the brain, conjure up all kinds of scenarios. Because it's not you that is orchestrating the inclination or the topic or scenario of the suggestion or the thought. It's the brain itself, and the brain doesn't have a gender to know what is in line with your values, what is not. And when caudate nucleus is not working and it's trying to overprotect you because you're heterosexual, and the amygdala knows that, so it alarms you more than is necessary, so it brings more attention to the topic that you don't want to pay attention to. So the brain picks that attention and starts making more of a scenarios that is not to your liking or to your inclination. But then you, not knowing that the brain is separate from you, you think it's the brain, it's you, and therefore if the brain thinks that way, that means that you're that way, so you think you're bi. All of that because you did too much porn, and too much of this topic was the inventory of the brain, which used it to make thoughts. And what thoughts is going to make? You're going to make thoughts about the sex with the girl. You're going to make thoughts about sex with the guy, because it's all about sex in there. It doesn't know why, it just makes it because it's capable of making all kinds of things that it may or may not be of interest to you. Interest to somebody else, not to you. Interest to you, not to somebody else. No, Rob, no. There's no something telling you. All that bullshit is just the fact that you don't know. Your brain is a separate entity and it's independent. And you have been duped to think that you're the brain, and brain sets what you are supposed or supposed not to do in life. That's not true. You have the ultimate power because, as I mentioned to you, with the experiment that the Dr. Leibet did in neuroscience, he proved that the ultimate power of vetoing anything is in your hands. Because when you veto a decision that was made a few seconds ago or a minute ago or whenever you made it, and when you made that decision, the brain had a spike of electromagnetic field half a second before you made that decision, which claims the brain knows everything before you know it. It's shattered by Dr. Leibet's experiment, because when you actually veto the same decision that supposedly the brain had the electromagnetic half a second before you make that decision, signifying that the brain knows something, supposedly, or at least is aware of some kind of a decision is about to be made. But when you veto it, there is zero electromagnetic in the brain. So meaning, when you have the actual power to decide yay or nay on some decision that you just want to veto and it's already made, brain is not involved. It's not at its pay grade. Brain has no activity, meaning you're way higher than the brain. Brain is not you, you're not the brain. You're above the brain, and the brain cannot reach your powers, cannot reach your veto power, which is the ultimate power. Everybody can decide or have some influence in making any kind of a decision. But the veto, brain is not involved. Meaning what? You're the boss, not the brain. So don't be fooled by all that. Yeah, your brain is telling you, because brain is in the OCD glitch, and the OCD glitch brain is telling you, using the OCD glitch brain. How could you then believe the brain that is already malfunctioning is actually giving you an accurate explanation or accurate judgment or accurate, what is the word? Information about what it is that is giving you. The same brain that is broken and is in the glitch of OCD cannot be trusted to give you the actuality of what you are, while itself is in the glitch of OCD. So When you know it's in the glitch of OCD, then how could you believe the product that is coming out of an OCD brain? And then take that one as, no, that's not OCD. That one is OCD, but this one is not. It's an OCD brain. So it's giving you that result by using an OCD brain, which means it's not credible. Yeah, Rob, don't go cuckoo on me, okay? It's all so much full of shit. What you're saying that you're getting really fooled by the brain. Brain is mal. You got to help the brain to rewire itself, not to believe a broken brain. So come on now. And Yusuf bin Hassan says, yo man, do you remember me? Yusuf? No. I am Joe. Oh, Joe, I do remember Joe. Joe from Tunisia that wrote you a letter and you helped me. It's been 1.5 years. I'm good now, but I'm afraid of relapse. Oh, why are you afraid of relapse when you already know that once you already defeated it in a way of being able to manage it and learned it? That means if it relapses, it's even easier because you're confident that it is what it is, just thoughts. So there's no truth to it. So this time would be even easier. Don't be afraid of anything. Don't call it relapse. We all have intrusive thoughts all day long. But when you know it's an intrusive thought, and according to Dr. Schwartz, you actually relabel it, like, you feel anxious. So you relabel it. I'm feeling anxious now. You just explain it, you interpret it. Then you reframe it. Is there anything wrong? Or do I feel something wrong? I feel something. So then again, you interpret it that there's nothing wrong. There could be something wrong in your life, but it's not what you think is wrong. So you clear these things up by cognitively discussing it. And then you refocus, because once you already, the jig is up and you explained and interpreted what the brain was suggesting as a mystery, but you opened the mystery and said, I'm feeling anxiety now. Okay. You're feeling anxiety now. You just worded it out. And then you said, is there something wrong? I'm feeling something wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong. I'm feeling something. So now you're clear that this whole suggestion, you just interpret it. Now that you know there's, it's just the feeling and the thought and all that, you said, okay, then no need to spend my energy here. I refocus. Relabel, reframe, refocus. From this, instead of wasting my time here, now that I've explained it and interpreted it, opened it up, what it is, I refocus to something positive, such as drinking tea. I'm focusing on this, or listening to music, or doing something, what I would like to do. That 3 steps leads to the 4th step, which your brain does it automatically. Revalues this whole episode. And then after a while, all 3 is done in a second by the brain because you've rewired it to do this whenever these things show up, and then revalues it. And you just simply understand that this was one of those steps, nothing more. It's a glitch of the brain, which I know how to handle it. It's like when the automatic gear shift of the car doesn't switch to the next gear as it's driving, and you grab onto the manual gear shift and put it in, just like the 4 steps. It's like not doing what it's supposed to do, which non-OCD brains do when an intrusive thought shows up and say, oh, that's nasty, and boom, boom, it closes it, caudate nucleus is working, shuts it down, and you'll go about whatever it is that you want to focus, and it dissipates. But when we are in an OCD brain, it's like you got to help it out to do what it was supposed to do automatically, and it always did automatically. And when you keep doing it, the brain now gets the condition of doing it like before automatically, more and more. And if it ever shows up, you don't freak again because you know what to do with it. So whatever you want to call it, relapse or whatever it is, which is you're not supposed to call it relapse. It's not a disease, it's a disorder, it's a glitch. Then you know what to do with it. So you're not afraid of it. You're not you're not freaked out. All right. Okay, Liam, I've already answered in general what to do with OCD thoughts and OCD, HOCD thoughts and so on. So it's the same thing. It's not like this question. How about this question? How about that? They all fall in the same way of understanding that it's overactive amygdala trying to protect you, caudate nucleus in the striatum, midbrain, basal ganglia is not working as it's supposed to. So you got to help it to rewire the brain and get it into default setting as it always functioned. And that takes adhering to the 4 steps of Dr. Schwartz and the things that other experts such as Dr. Philipson, Dr. Jan Rainer, and all that talk in the videos. And you learn that the brain is not you, you're not the brain. You're supposed to help the brain that is in a glitch of OCD to rewire itself. And that's it, rather than thinking, oh my goodness, my brain says so, so I am. What if your brain says you're a fucking tiger? You don't believe that. But when it tells you you are a gender that you're not, suddenly, oh my God. How come that is, no, I'm not a tiger. I'm not an elephant. But then again, I could be gay. I could be this. I could be that. How come that's not, but this is? It's all brain thought. So, same thing. And how come these sort of things, but brain has the power to make me become this or that. But brain is only limited in power to make me become this or that, but doesn't have the power to suddenly create, as it creates me changing, doesn't have the power to create something amazing happen for me, like my car go from maximum 200 kilometers per hour, go 500. Or I have $2 million in the bank because my brain thought of it. And this thought is so powerful that brings it to actuality of life. Why? Because it can change my gender. So if it does, then it can do many other things. But, it doesn't do any other things. It can only do this. What the fuck are you guys talking about? Understand the brain, like any other organ in our body, malfunctions. So anything that malfunctions, you go fix it. Your eye malfunctions, you go to the doctor. So something wrong. You don't say, oh, well, that's what my eyes have always been. I just never knew it. Well, no, it wasn't. It's malfunctioning. So it needs help. Liver, the enzyme is not created as much. So you got to, I don't know, have some antioxidants or whatever. Kidney, have more water maybe. I'm dehydrated. So you recognize the glitch of every other organ. But when it comes to the brain, brain is perfect. Brain is the most fucked up organ of our body. And brain is pretty much the newest organ of our body. We didn't have this brain until 40,000 years ago. And before 40,000 years ago, there was no such thing as OCD, HOCD, or harm OCD, responsibility OCD, any kind of unwanted intrusive thoughts. Nothing. Why? Because we weren't able to think. We weren't able to speak. Words didn't have meanings. Meanings didn't have suggestion to the brain. Brain couldn't use the suggestion to come up with unwanted thoughts or intrusive thoughts. Nothing had meaning. It was all instinct. We were limited to certain needs, which was running or hunting or sleeping and having sex and all that. There was no questions. Why? Questions comes from thoughts. Thoughts are the roots of all problems. And we were only having this capability since 4,000 years ago. Before that, you had no such problems. You were this, you were that, you were that, you were that. You were not switching around, changing from this and that. All because we have a brain that is still, work in progress. And it breaks down, it glitches. And this glitch, now you've been brainwashed to think since childhood that the brain is you, brain is smart, intelligent. Then anything that it conjures up, you believe it as if it's fact. But it's not fact. It's fucked up, not fact. It's a little pronunciation difference. Go on, live your lives now. Just educate yourself about the brain. Don't be so naive. That the brain, an organ, is actually calling the shots for your life. How pathetic is that? And you believe it. All right. All right. AB Adrian. Oh, where have you been? You are from Romania, I guess, yeah? Yeah. Says, hello, Mehran. This is Adrian, aka Rocky. I remember. Where have you been? This is, how are you, Mehran? Everything well? Well, thank you very much for asking, Adrian. Well, yeah, well, as much as it could be. My mom is in care center for a few years now, and I've been visiting mom every day, every single day from 4 to 6. So it's kind of sad seeing her there, and yet, you have an image of your parents as gods. They provided for you, they protected you, they gave you all kinds of help and education and so on. And they were giving you permissions and take permissions away, and you were asking them to make decisions for you all your childhood, and you grew up and you have that image. You were strong and beautiful, and then your mom is now like a child. It's concerning, and the problem is you can't fit that image that you had in your childhood of your parents when they get old to their actuality as they are today. The image doesn't fit the actuality, so you kind of don't know how to interact and react because you are always respectful and appreciating the inputs and respecting the inputs, yet at the same time you see they cannot make decisions anymore, and they rely on you, and they're like children. It's hard to grasp. So I usually, right after I go to the gym, to bring my energy back up and see the world out there. And you kind of feel selfish that you're attending to your life, and your mother's there, and her cheery face when she sees you, and so happy to see you, feel protected and safe. Kind of feel selfish when you have your own hours or days or doing whatever it is that you enjoy doing. So, but that's how it is. Steven says, I went to the market earlier, Mehran. Did you get my response on your last couple of sentences on your Skype? I hope you did, huh? So I went to the market earlier, Mehran. There was a girl in line, and we made eye contact. That's always sweet. She was really pretty. It felt good because it gave me hope that there is so many other girls out there. Yeah, isn't there? Every smile is so beautiful and so hopeful. So you really didn't think my ex was pretty? Look, Jesus, you still ask that? You bloody fucking. Where's my ugly stick? I mean, I want to have two sticks now for your miserable head. Yes, she was ugly. Fuck. What do you want me to say? It can't be more clear than that. Jesus, you must have closed your eyes or something. I don't know. It must have been too dark, huh? No lights. Steven says, I guess I was seeing an illusion. That my need, yeah, yes, your illusion, your need did not allow you to actually qualify her. You just saw her something that would fit the need. It's like a screw that you put into a machine and you're looking for the nut, you know, to screw on top of the screw. And you find something that actually is the right catching the threads, but it's not the right look. But you don't give a shit about the look at the time because you need something to hold this piece together using that bolt. You needed someone to give you that attention so you would keep yourself together and not feel the absence of that need to be fulfilled. So you didn't really care about any other criteria that she could qualify. All you cared about that it fills the need. It holds these two pieces together. Now, whether it was a butterfly look, or was a rounded, or was rounded head, or it was open to, and he didn't care. But you must have a certain preference of how she should look like. Well, look at her. Look at her. Then focus on her behavior. Always trying to manipulate you. You haven't changed. And then she goes and fucks somebody else. Then she comes back to you. And you take her back. I mean, you just needed, beat it on your head. So, okay, I think we've had that topic already discussed. And seriously, sometimes with the loneliness I feel, it makes me think of her and a pleasant memory. Yes, of course, that's normal. Even I do that with my previous girlfriend. If I'm missing, I'm feeling that I would like to have a girl or a woman in my life that I haven't qualified yet. And since there's an absent there, the brain naturally falls back into the most recent girlfriend that was, not a one night stand, but it was some substances to it. And whether it worked out or didn't work out or how it ended doesn't matter. It finds the selected pleasurable moments, and that's the girl that comes to your mind. And if you have another girlfriend now and you break up with her, and when you feel kind of need of a woman or companion, not just for sex, just for companionship, even just date or whatnot, the ex will come to your mind, not this one, the one that you broke up after this. It's always the most recent meaningful relationship. Yours was not meaningful, but in your idea, it was meaningful because that was fulfilling your need. So that's normal that you will feel a pleasant memory when you feel lonely, and that's. But don't allow that to make up your mind that she was the right. That is not the pleasant memory when you need some kind of a warmth via the memory is not an evidence that that pleasant moment in the duration of that relationship is an evidence that that relationship was the good one, was the correct one, was the one that should have worked. No, it's not an evidence that the girl was the right girl for you. It just happens to be it was a good moment. And every relationship does have some good moments. But the fact that it didn't work has nothing to do with not having good moments. It did have good moments. Every relationship does. First date, second date, third date. Even you had difficulties later on, you just patched it up and you were romantic and intimate, and or you went to a walk outside by the ocean, and it's all wonderful. But those memories are not supposed to be used as an evidence that the actual actor, actual girl, actual combination was a correct combination. Because there were so many other reasons that despite of these pleasant moments, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Because the pleasant moments are not the deciding factor for a relationship. The ingredients and the bonding and the consciousness level must be there. And face it, your consciousness level and her consciousness level was fucking so different. It couldn't have lasted, and it didn't, and it will not, ever. So once you recognize that, then you're not at odds. Why did it not work? Because there was no connection on the consciousness level. It was all based on need and comfort and pleasantry and pleasure, but eventually there was no foundation to hold this, whatever it is that you thought it was. Neither for you nor for her. But you were really fucked up because you actually took a girl who wanted to fuck with somebody else back. It should be a rule in your life. Once a girl leaves you and goes and sleeps with somebody else, adios amigos. All right. Yeah, yes, you're right, Stephen. Your OCD brain needs constant reassurance about this girl. Yeah, she looked like shit. Okay, that's as clear as I can get. Yes, but then I looked at it for what it said. Good job. Well, guys, we have answered all the questions, and we're whopping 2 people here. I wonder why is it so popular, this channel? I mean, we must be saying something really. All right, then. So, I guess this is my cue. It's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. Once in a while, we'll have this, even though it's not Saturday. I'll have it just because, it's good to catch up with you guys and, see how you guys are, and we may grow. And you guys don't forget about sharing this channel with other people. So, it'll be promoted, we'll have a presence, and we'll eventually grow and be able to reach more people and help more people. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.